Hello and a warm welcome from Cascavel. We are opening another round number 2 of the TCR South America Championship. Second stop in Brazilian territory as we are getting ready for the qualifying session that will take us through the next hour. With all drivers jumping out into Q2. You see these really fancy circuits in Brazil. After some damp patches in the track surface, we are hoping now for a nice qualifying session as we are shifting the focus now to the second round of this tournament. Cloudy skies as usual in Brazil. However, this won't stop us from really nice qualifying action live from Cascavel. Rafael Reis and Lucas Foresti, the standings leaders. Foresti, the joint co-driver to race in the opening round. As we have the 6 teams ready as we'll head out on track in a second with some big news as the debut of 2 Argentinian touring car masters, Matias Rossi and Leonel Pernilla, both join the championship from this round onwards. Multiple touring car title winners in their homeland. Pernilla joining PMO Racing, as we see the entry list here. Matias Rossi with their long-time link with Toyota, having emerged himself as a racing legend in Argentina, wearing the colors of Toyota. We have 16 cars getting ready for the qualifying session. As we said, Rafael Reis leading the standings. We'll hear from our pit reporter, Leticia Datena. We'll get on the way in a second as we have in the background the car of Galid Osman, one of the series strong contenders from a W2 Pro GP. Despite not the best of starts for Galid Osman, in 9th place of the standings. 17th actually, if we consider all the co-drivers that finished ahead of him after the first round in Interlagos. W2 Pro GP is leading the team's championship on 61 points, followed by PMO Racing, as we are now heading onto track with the qualifying session. Here's Marcos Regatas, still waiting. Q1 is underway in Cascavel. Welcome everybody to Brazil for the second round of TCR South America. My name is Francisco Aure. It's a pleasure to be with you for this event. 81% of humidity, 12 Celsius degrees. That's a bit more over 53 Fahrenheit degrees, so that's quite a cold temperature, but as humid as always in Brazil. As we have all the drivers now heading onto track, and it will be a very, very interesting contest that we'll have in this second round of the season. Q1 is on the way, 20 minutes, in which we'll have all the cars heading out on track. There's Juan Manuel Casella, the Uruguayan. We got Rafael Reyes on 40 kilos of compensation weight, following the latest event ranking. All the 16 drivers are now on track as they will take their first flying lap attempts. The benchmark so far has been set after the shakedowns and practice sessions. Practice 2 was led by Rafael Reyes on minutes 6 seconds 79 thousandths. That means we are still a long way from the benchmarks of the lap times. The early laps are simply warm-up laps that are around minutes and 29. Here's Enrique Maglione, the Uruguayan TCR Trophy challenger, the Uruguayan veteran. As now here we have Marcos Regadas in the pit lane. Pedro Cardoso jumping into the top. Enrique Maglione here coming toward us with the Honda of Squadra Martino, the Argentinian squad here with his countryman Juan Manuel Casella. Here's the rookie Leonel Pernilla. Touring car master in Argentina, with a huge background of titles in his homeland, 48 years old. After having a career as a reserve and amateur football player, even wearing the Boca Juniors outfit in the mid-90s, making it only to the reserves teams alongside football legends like Diego Maradona, Juan Román Riquelme, having been joined by him in the squad. As here we have a stopped car on track. It's Diego Gutierrez who switches for this round to Squadra Martino. There he is, trying to crawl back into the track. There's Gutierrez spinning in the entrance to the main straights, trying to control the clutch so the car does not stall. Pernilla moves to the top now. Having had 3 TC2000 championships in Argentina, following several runner-up positions and never giving up, he eventually managed to get 3 titles, plus 2 more in the also known Turismo Nacional, the TN Championship, in the top class. Having had also 1 outing at the WTCC Championship back in 2010 for the factory Chevrolet team, even scoring points in his sole outing in Monza. as Pedro Cardoso jumps to the top now. 1 minute 5 seconds. As we are already beating the lap times scored in the early stages of the weekend. Yet the benchmark was set by Gali Dosman in free practice 1. 1.54. So we are still 0.3 of a second away. Here comes the Toyota Corolla of Thiago Vivacqua. The Brazilian on his way to start his flying lap. As Cardoso now switches tires, swapping tires after joining PMO Racing, switching from Scuderia Chiarelli. Here's Thiago Vivacqua coming toward us in his flying lap attempt. Vivacqua setting 28.2 in the first sector, 24.6. Some half a second behind, as here is the other rookie, Matias Rossi from Argentina, 40 years old. Another touring car legend from his country. Having raced at international level in the Brazilian stock car in the last years. Wearing the Toyota colors for over a decade in Argentina. Opening his flying lap with and now with 2 purple sectors in sectors 1 and 2. We'll see if he can complete the lap to jump into the top of the timing sheets. Matias Rossi closing his lap time. Yes, sir. This is the quickest lap time of the whole weekend. 1:05.0. Over half a second ahead of Pernilla. Later Cardoso, Juan Ángel Rosso, Marcos Regadas, Rodrigo Baptista, Gali Dosman, all of them within the second of gap. Later Fabian Gianantoni, Juan Manuel Castella, Thiago Vivacqua wrapping up the top 10. Norberto Fontana, Diego Gutierrez, Guilherme Reichel, Fabio Casagrande, Rafael Reis, and Enrique Maglione. The 16 cars ranked in this Q1 that is taking us midway through now. Regatas in 6th. Could not improve. Let's see from Maglione. Spinning in his Honda, a track that seems to be quite slippery. Not only him, but also Gutierrez previously, and bringing some dirt to the tarmac also. We had a Sector 3 record by Juan Manuel Casella, but not enough. Barely in 8th place, the Uruguayan. As we have some drivers like Pernilla, Cardoso, Rosso, Gianantoni, also Matias Rossi heading into the pits. Osman jumps to 5th place. Teammates of Rafael Reis, the standings leader. So we're going midway through Q1. As we are now waiting for more lap times that will jump into the timesheet. Here's Rafael Reis, the standings leader in the black Cupra of W2 Pro GP. 8 minutes and 45 seconds yet remain in this Q1. Here is our fastest driver so far, Mattias Rossi. That's Maglione, really struggling with grip today. And sometimes the wet grass or the damp grass is something even worse to spin off. Maglione trying to recover. He's in last place so far, scoring his personal record in first and second sector. We'll see how he closes the lap time. Jumping to 13th. Enrique Maglione. You will see in the close shots that the cars are carrying special stickers on their rear doors, raising awareness on the campaign to help the region of Porto Alegre that has been victim of massive floodings, one of the largest states in Brazil. Of course, our thoughts with all the people affected. We have very few cars on track now. Maglione is one, Rachel, Casagrande and Gutierrez. Juan Angel Rosso also. That's Maglione. As we are reaching 12:33 p.m. in Cascavel. Some cars are heading into the pits. Here come the duo of Squadra Martino, Juan Manuel Casella and Fabio Casagrande. Casella braking hard. You could hear the tires screaming in the braking zone. Casella is opening another lap time. This is Casagrande, one of the contenders in the special TCR Trophy division, in which he arrives in third place. Pedro Cardoso now approaching as Rosso is about to close another lap, having improved his first two sectors, and jumps up to second place. Very nice work by Juan Angel Rosso. 0.3 of a second behind Mattias Rossi, who remains at the top and seems to be fixed to the first place. Leonel Pernilla in third. 1, 2, 3 for Argentina. Rafael Reis, Rodrigo Bautista and Pedro Cardoso, all of them from Brazil, in 4th, 5th and 6th as Guilherme Reichel heads back on track. Here comes Leonel Pernilla, the Argentinian touring car master, in third. Let's see if he can improve his lap times. Already now opening the flying lap. He's now taking one of his final attempts in this PMO race in Peugeot. Currently in third place, 0.5 of a second behind Mattias Rossi. Shouldn't be a problem for him to move to Q2. Rossi was fastest in sectors 1 and 2. Casella fastest one in sector 3. The combined lap time now. Casella jumps into second. The combined lap time would be dropping from 1 minute 5 seconds, would be 1.488. Rodrigo Bautista also trying to improve his lap time. Bautista moves up to second. Nobody gets a real threat to Rossi, but they are improving. Rossi remains in pits. And here's Juan Manuel Casella in third place as far as now. Matias Rossi heading back on track. He needs to reassure first place in his TCR debut. He's been a intense test driver, has done intensive testing, that's what I meant, with the Toyota in its development phase. Here comes Rafael Reyes. Race right now about to open his lap time, his flying lap here at the Autodromo Zilmarbo, open in 1970, 3.3 kilometers, 7 turns, very high tire drag. Also Gali Dosman. This track has hosted TCRs in South America, NASCAR Brazil. Back in the 90s, the defunct South American Super Touring Championship, back in the late 90s. Also GT3 local racing, Porsche Cup, Stock Car Brazil, and even Formula 3 until a couple of years ago. Osman opening another flying lap. Here comes Gali Dosman, the W2 Pro GP driver. Pedro Cardoso coming out onto the main straights. We'll see if he posts another lap time. He lost a bit of time in his second sector. Could not improve. Still in 6th place. As far as now, Norberto Fontana, Enrique Maglione, Guilherme Rachel, and Diego Gutierrez will be the 4 knocked out drivers. You can read over the name and next to the number 3 in Bautista's window, the sticker raising the awareness in the campaign for those who were affected by the floodings in Porto Alegre. Osman about to close another lap. Sets a personal best in Sector 1. Could not improve, remains in 3rd. Roberto Fontana also trying to improve his lap times. Could not do so. But Maglione moves up to 12. That would squeeze him through into Q2. Here comes Roberto Fontana. 4 Formula 1 outings in 1997 for back then Sauber Petronas. Guilherme Rachel trying to improve his lap times also. Still in 15th. Let's see what Marcos Regatas can do in these attempts. As clock is now in 0, Regatas moves up to 9th. Having improved his Sector 1. Osman heads into the pit lane. Only Rossi, Maglione, Casagrande, Fontana, and Rachel and Gutierrez are on track, but not all of them will have time to complete another attempt. Casagrande, Fontana all heading to the pits. Rachel still trying to move up. Let's see if he can. He improved his first sector. Rachel closing his lap and could not improve in the final sector. Ladies and gentlemen, Matias Rossi is the quickest in Q1 in TCR South America. That's P1 for the Argentinian. 1 minute 5 seconds, 27/10 of a second, the quickest lap time of the weekend. Baptista ends up in second, followed by Osman, Casella, Rosso, Reis, Cardoso, Pernilla, Regadas, Gianantuoni, also Vivacqua, and Maglione making it into Q2. Here are the final standings. Matias Rossi leads the way in Q1, followed by Rodrigo Baptista, Gali Dosman, Juan Manuel Casella, Juan Ángel Rosso, Rafael Reis, Pedro Cardoso, Leonel Pernilla, Marcos Regadas, and Fabián Gianantuoni. The top 10. Then we have Thiago Vivacqua and Enrique Maglione joining the top 12. Knockouts Fabio Casagrande, Norberto Fontana, Guillermo Reichel, and Diego Gutierrez. Cloudy skies. We had some rain earlier in this Saturday morning. Now we will wait for the last 10 minutes of Q2. Here we have a look inside the TTA Toyota Team Argentina. Here's Matias Rossi, 40 years old. Thank you everybody for joining us around the world. This is TCR South America. Q1 has concluded in Cascavel. My name is Francisco Aura, pleasure to be with you as we have all the 16 cars back in the pit lane, getting ready to go on with Q2 that will have the top 12 of this session. Here it is, Matias Rossi. There you have the QR code to scan with your devices. Make your donation in a Movimiento Pelo EGS. That is the crowdfunding to help the victims of the floodings in Porto Alegre.
Com Dario Ramonda, né, que ele é o chefe
we'll hear from Dario Ramonda, team manager of Toyota Team Argentina.
Vamos falar com ele aqui pouquinho. Dario, vamos falar pouquinho desta contratação de Matias Rossi. Creo que estás
Let's talk about the arrival of Matias Rossi. You seem very satisfied with his debut. Yes, of course. Matias is a team from our organization for a long time, and he was now joined in the program. He arrived to our team by 2011, so we've been together for a long time, working together and knowing his quality and his attributes. We were really keen on bringing him on board in this series. We had a great performance last year with Bernardo Javer. Matias in Argentina is a factory driver, so bringing him to TCR is for us a great asset for all what he means in our relationship with the brand. We are now making his first appearance. We had a round overlaps of rounds. So he couldn't be in Interlagos. Now Letícia da Pena, the local reporter, making the translation into Portuguese. Dario Ramonda, having led also the representation of Toyota in racing in Argentina for over 15 years, alongside his belated brother Gustavo, who passed away 19 years ago.
Muchas gracias y suerte para el resto
when one of his drivers won for the first time. First race in TC2000. The TC2000 one of the legendary touring car championships in South America, originally from Argentina, having given some really extraordinary racing drivers from Argentina in touring car level. Possibly the most known, the 3 times WTCC world champion, Jose Maria Lopez. Also, currently TCR World Tour stars like Esteban Guerrieri, Nestor Girolami. TCR Europe stars like Franco Girolami, like the reigning TCR South America champion Ignacio Montenegro, who is now undergoing his first season.
Olha só, ele que
Let's
foi
hear
o mais
from Matias
rápido
Rossi.
do Q1.
He was the
Matias,
quickest
creo que
one
estás
in
satisfeito
Q1.
con tu,
Matias, you
con
seem
tu
to be very
desempeño
satisfied
y hablar un
with your
poquito de las
performance.
condiciones. Ya conseguiste
Please talk us through
tiempo, 10
the
minutos antes del
conditions.
final
You have set your lap times 10 minutes from the end. Yes, it's been a great lap. The car is feeling really great. We accomplished our first objective of moving through. Now, Q2 is, of course, much more important, but the track condition is very nice and the car is feeling really, really good.
De fato, para o Q2, a condição da pista está rápida e o carro está muito bom. E Matias, ¿qué crees que puedes lograr
please,
en tu primer fin de semana?
what do you think you can achieve in your first weekend in TCR South America? My first goal is to get pole position, to start on pole the first races.
¿Está afectando
We'll
la
try to do so.
temperatura del fin de semana? ¿La pista un poquito húmeda o no?
Is the damp track affecting? No, the track conditions are the same for everybody, so it's not a problem.
Muchas gracias
We have
y
to adapt.
suerte.
Says
Bom, gente,
Matias
o Matias,
Rossi.
então, ele comentou aqui que as condições da pista estão rápidas e que, no geral, a temperatura e o resto não está afetando diretamente, porque as condições são iguais para todos.
Here is our pit lane for this weekend. Here's Pedro Cardoso, the Brazilian driver from PMO Racing, the Argentinian outfits. As we also have some Brazilian teams with Argentinian drivers on board, like Norberto Fontana racing for Cobra Racing Team, alongside Thiago Vivacqua from Brazil. We are about to reach 12:50 p.m. in Cascavel.
Bom, estou aqui com o Digo Batista, ele foi o segundo mais rápido, né, desse Q1. Digo, fala um pouquinho sobre como estão as condições hoje da pista com seu carro.
Ela estava um pouco molhada, talvez no começo, mas já secou, a pista está muito boa, então vamos disputar a pole.
Track is very well, says Rodrigo
Bom, Digo
Batista.
falou que, bueno, Digo nos dijo que está un poco mojada, sigue un poco húmeda
saying that the
la
track is
pista,
still a bit damp,
pero que
bit humid,
van para el pole
but
position.
they
Y,
are
bueno, já están prendendo los motores, já
keen to go
estão
for
ligando os
pole
motores
position.
aqui, eu volto com vocês.
Engines are starting. Thank you very much, Letty. Last 10 seconds in the countdown until the Q2 gets the green lights in Cascavel. Track is a bit damp, but we are having dry track times. As they are the cars heading out on track. 12 contenders for the second pole position of the year. Now it's time to go for the final 10 minutes. Here is the fastest driver in Q1, Matias Rossi, in his debut for TCR South America. All the cars are heading out on track. 12 men will go for the pole position now. Here is Rossi. Will be leading the way. He attempts trying to warm up the tires. It's a really cold midday, as we said. 15 Celsius degrees. Eight minutes remaining. As all the drivers are now open in their lap times. Rossi, Casella, Baptista, Maglione, Cardoso, Reis, Pernia, Gianantuoni, and Osman. Also Regadas. Only Rosso and Vivacqua who are doing so now. We're yet to open their lap times. Here's Rossi heading into Sector 1, the Argentinian touring car master. Matias Rossi now taking the entrance into the lap. Last turn. We'll see who posts the fastest time. Baptista is with records in sectors 1 and 2. We'll see if the Brazilian moves up into first. Rossi sets 1:05.3. Let's see if Baptista can beat him. Yes, he does. 1:05.0. Baptista in first, Rossi in second, Casella in third. 7/10 behind Baptista. Reis in fourth, now dropped by Pernia. Gali Dosman jumps into second place. 1:05.034 is the full lap time posted by Rodrigo Baptista. Rossi in third, now improving sector 1 with overall record. Osman was the quickest in sector 3. Rossi heading into the last turn also. Lost a few tenths in sector 2. Let's see if he closes down the lap time. 27.33 was the sector 1 record. He's now closing his lap time. Personal best in sector 3, but it's not enough. Lost a lot of time in sector 2. Personal best in sector 1 and 2 for Casella. Baptista sets the overall record and now moves into the 1:04 zone, breaking the barrier of 1 minute and 5 seconds. Rodrigo Baptista, another of the rising talents. An awesome performance by him, the 27-year-old. Second place in the Le Mans 24 Hours in 2019. As now the cars are heading back into the pits, possibly for another set of tires, and go for the final attempt. Maglione about to post his lap time in 12, yet improving his first sector. Reis is in 9th place, suffering possibly the 40 kilos of a compensation weight on board. There's Fabian Gianantuoni in 11th place, trying to get a spot in the top 10 that would move him to provisional pole for race 2. Gianantuoni jumps into 8th place, dropping Vivacqua out of the top 10. Last 4 minutes. Everybody's in pits except for Regadas, Gianantuoni, Vivacqua and Maglione. There are the contenders, Baptista, Osman and Rossi. Those seem to be the candidates, as there is a big gap between them. and Pedro Cardoso in 4th place. There's Gian Antonio, and Rossi heads out on track again. Sector 1 record for Rossi, 27.33. In sectors 2 and 3, it's 24.08 and 13.45 for Baptista. That was Vivacqua, opening another lap time. Not improving as Rafael Reis is now dropped out of the top 10, knocked out by Vivacqua. Now Baptista heads out on track for a final attempt. Leonel Pernia here, 9th, possibly targeting a reverse grid pole. Now Juan Angel Rosso opening another attempt. Drivers will have margin to make 1 or 2 warm-up laps if desired. We'll see if the conditions allow to do 2 flying laps attempts. As we have now Juan Angel Rosso currently in 6th place with the Toyota of Palladini Racing. His teammate Fabian Gianantuoni is in 8th. As Rossi now comes to open another lap. Warm-up laps about 20 seconds ahead of the ideal lap times of around a minute and 5 seconds. Personal best for Baptista in sector 1, 27.35. The record is 27.33 from Rossi. We'll see if Baptista can polish a few hundredths or tenths of a second in his time. 10:20 closing a lap time, moves into 9th place. Also personal best for Gali Dosman, but that's over a tenth of a second ahead, above the records of Rossi and Baptista. Not a good first sector for Rossi. Neither a good second sector, so he will open now his final attempts. Casella in the slipstream of the Toyota. Here comes Mattias Rossi, trying to get into turn 1. That long and fast 90-degree turn. The turn, get into the Basiao. That's the very fast SC. Now Baptista takes his final attempt. Ladies and gentlemen, clocks are counting down to 0. Baptista enters the final turn, runs a little bit wide and wants to set pole position. Baptista improved his first sector. Will he improve his lap time? No, he doesn't. Lost time in sectors 2 and 3. Rossi improving his personal best in sector 2. Oh, Juan Angel Rosso has spun and hit the tire barrier. Let's see the replay. He spun. Oh, was that a braking problem? Because he had to dive into the inside. Something seemed to be wrong in his steering. But that will prevent us from having improvements, I think, as the clock is down in 0. And everybody's heading into the pit lanes. Ladies and gentlemen, frustration for Mattias Rossi and Gali Dosman and Rodrigo Baptista. This man is taking the second pole position of the season. Smiles. Here we have our pole sitter. Rodrigo Baptista from Brazil has taken the second pole position of the year. As there is the fastest car of the qualifying session, Rodrigo Baptista. Now, we'll hear from our pole sitter, but it's Baptista, Osman, Rossi, Casella, Reis, Cardoso, Rosso, Pernia, Regadas, Gianantoni, Vivacqua, and Maglione. Our top 12, that means Fabian Gianantoni should have the reverse grid pole for race 2 tomorrow, alongside Marcos Regadas in the front row and Leonel Pernia in third. That's Rodrigo Baptista. The only one that could break the barrier of a minute and 5 seconds. An excellent performance. Here is our final standings. Baptista 1:04.86, followed by Osman, Rossi, Casella, Reis, Cardoso, Rosso, Pernia, Regadas, Gianantonio on reverse grid pole, Vivacqua and Maglione. Thiago Vivacqua missed top 10 for a tenth of a second.
Aí vem argentino e uruguaio, Matias Rossi e Juan Casella.
Here's Baptista.
Na segunda fila, a terceira tem Rafa Reis e Pedro Cardoso. Portanto, a fila também de brasileiros, a terceira fila. A quarta de argentinos, Juan Rosso e Leonel Pernia. Leonel Pernia também na fila 4. Fila 5, Marcos Regadas e Juan Antônio. O Regadas é brasileiro.
Here's Rodrigo Baptista, our fastest driver of the day, getting his pole position for Squadra Martino. Federico Punteri, one of the promoters of TCR South America. Handed over the trophy.
Bom, vamos à entrevista então com Rodrigo Batista.
Let's hear from
Parabéns,
our
pole
sitter, Rodrigo
position na
Baptista.
categoria, né?
Congratulations, your first pole position in the
Não sei se eu
series.
fiz alguma no ano que eu corri aqui, mas não, esse ano
I
com
don't know if I
certeza, tô
ever
muito feliz.
raced
O carro tá
in
muito
here,
bom.
but
Parabéns
I'm
pra
really
toda a equipe
happy.
aí.
Rodrigo Batista,
I wanna
então,
congratulate
anotando
all the
a
team.
pole position com Honda Civic da Squadra Martino. Falar um pouquinho, então, do que você pode conquistar, né, com essa pole position, como estão as condições da pista, do seu carro
pole position,
e as
how were the track
expectativas para as duas
conditions,
corridas de hoje.
A
and your
expectativa é muito boa, o
expectations
carro
for
é muito bom.
races.
Eu não sei muito como que vai
Well,
ser
our expectations
no
are
stint
great. I
inteiro.
don't know what
A
will
gente não conseguiu
come out
fazer
in the
treino ontem, no
races.
segundo treino a gente nem andou por conta da chuva, então
We couldn't
vai
do
ser uma
much in the
surpresa aí,
second
mas acho que para
track,
todo
the
mundo
second
Bueno, las expectativas
training
para las
session
carreras
with
son muy buenas.
wet track.
No han podido hacer el
Expectations for the races are really
entrenamiento
high.
1 o 2, ¿qué você? 2, y bueno, pero que está animado para lo que viene ahí.
Rain affected
E
them.
para terminar,
Now Letizia
falar
Catena
pouquinho
making the translation
sobre
into Spanish for the Spanish
você vai
audience.
largar
So,
na pole
please,
position,
talk us
mas vai
through
largar
starting on
lá
pole
atrás na
position.
corrida número 2.
Mas
But
acho que
you
isso
will
faz
start
parte, é a
race
regra
2
do
from
campeonato.
10th.
A gente
Yeah, it's
já
part of
sabia,
the
mas
rules.
não
We
tem que
knew
fazer, né?
that's,
Então, vamos com
could
certeza
happen.
aí disputar e
There's nothing
tentar
to do. We are
conseguir o máximo de
really
ponto possível na corrida 2.
confident for
Y ahí nos acordamos
race one,
que
and we'll
él
try
va
to
a
get as much as
largar en la pole
maximum
position en la
points
carrera
in race
1
two.
de hoy, pero en la carrera 2 hay la inversión de los 10 primeros. Pero dijo que, bueno, va a tentar aún así conquistar la a maior quantidade de pontos possíveis. Gente, eu volto então às 2h30 com a primeira corrida da segunda etapa da TCR Brasil.
TCR Brazil will take their rounds 1 and 2. Later today, we will join tomorrow with TCR South America. Races 1 and 2 tomorrow. There are some highlights and a recap from our qualifying session. Now we have the grid set for races 1 and 2. Baptista, Osman, Rossi, Casella, Reis, Cardoso, Rosso, Pernia, Regadas, and Gian Antoni in the top 10. Reverse grid will have Gian Antoni on pole, alongside Regadas in front row. Then Leonel Pernia in third, Rosso in fourth, Cardoso in fifth, Reis in sixth, Casella in seventh, Rossi in eighth, Osman in ninth, and Baptista in 10th place. Then Vivaco and Maglione in 11th and 12th in every race. TCR Brazil is racing standalone races. That's the spin of Enrique Maglione. There's Rosso crashing into the tire barrier. We'll dig into what happened to the Argentinian former Formula Ford vice champion in the UK. Matias Rossi having started in Q1, then could not reassure that in Q2. We are wrapping up our broadcast. Baptista on pole. And that's all for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Francisco Aurezvino. TCR South American Championship qualifying session. We'll come back tomorrow with the races 1 and 2, second round in Cascavel. Thank you. See you tomorrow.